But the party is still having a bit of an identity crisis after the 2024 election losses. The Wall Street Journal said Democrats have a new leader, but haven't come to grips with failure. Faiz Shakir is a former candidate for DNC chair and former campaign manager for Bernie Sanders. One of the things that I noticed was that The Atlantic and the New York Times said, first of all, the Democrats show why they lost. The party seemed to be at pains to demonstrate that it learned nothing from its defeat and that we have no coherent message. Democrats struggle to oppose Trump. And this comes as you have the highest number of voters with an unfavorable view of the Democrats at 57%. You were trying to change that. It came up a little bit short. What did you want them to do?
Well, I'm a pro-labor, pro-union guy, Dana, and that's what makes me a Democrat. I'm bothered by massive wealth and income inequality in society, and it does frustrate me when I see a lot of my friends on the left and Democratic Party focusing on identity politics divisions. You need solidarity of a working class if you're going to take on massive wealth and power. You can't be saying, hey, I'm Latino and I get a seat on this committee, or trans person over here, black person over there. You got to have solidarity of everybody in order to get universal health care, raise the minimum wage to a living wage. Those are the things that drive me.
Faiz, can I jump in real quick and play? I just want to play this one soundbite for you to react to. This is Jamie Harrison, the outgoing DNC chair, and what he said.
Our rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 officers must be gender balanced. At this point are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must add 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender.
It feels like a complicated algebra problem. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, I was calling for breaking up some of these councils and caucuses that too often say, pat you on the head and go sit in a corner over there because you're different than everybody else. I'm like, what are we doing here? It also dissipates the mission. The purpose is a working class party. Let's focus on grassroots fundraising. Let's focus on candidate recruitment. Get everybody in the room and get together on ideas that solve for that, including young white males. I mean, too often you feel like you're excluding certain people out of a way in which you build solidarity for a working class.
And so the guy who won, Ken Martin, comes from Minnesota. Do you expect to see any changes when he comes on board?
I'm going to try to help him as best as I can. I think that the Democratic National Committee needs a major makeover, an overhaul of some spine right now. I think when, you got an assault on government, from my perspective, Dana, going on, and the Democratic Party has looked to and said, hey, you guys, for your long history and tradition, have fought for working people and believe in government, step up and fight. There should be, when you get this kind of assault based off of unelected billionaires, I would hope the Democratic Party shows up and says, hey, we're the party of a working class right now.
It was interesting to watch that decline over time, right, and as we go through this political realignment. And for me, like when I first started in politics, college-educated voters always voted for Republicans. That's not the case anymore. But there's another issue, and I was really glad to see this in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend. Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York, also a billionaire, but really interested in education. And he said that Democratic politicians are in denial on the education crisis and that voters see them tolerating failure, capitulating to the teachers' unions, and blocking charter schools. And it seems to me that that could be one of the issues where if you really do want to go back to the roots of the party, that one might be it. But yet, it does seem like you get these failing report cards from the nation's students, and the Democrats don't say much about it.
But I'll come at this from a different perspective. I see a billionaire who says they want to give, people an opportunity to pull their kids from public schools and go to private schools and get a tax benefit for it. From my perspective, you see small communities and rural communities losing tax base, losing the ability to build up their public schools. What's the major problem? We need to give teachers more pay, recruit young males actually to be teachers. Why aren't they doing it? Because the pay of a public school teacher isn't sufficient to the quality and the value of what they're providing to society. To my mind, you want to invest in public schools, invest in post offices, invest in the VA. I don't like this undermining of public goods for the common good.
But if the public goods aren't providing for the people who are paying for it, should there be a change for them?
Yeah, our job is to hold that accountable. If you believe in government, I agree with you that there is failings in the public school system, but the best way to deal with it is not to say, hey, go off and run to a private school and get a tax benefit for it. It's to say we got to raise the teacher pay in this school to $75,000, $80,000. And in Iowa or Nebraska, we're going to improve the base and recruit people into this profession and make it a valuable endeavor because too many people count on that. We're in small towns all over America. You cannot get a quality education. You'll be busing kids like
Yeah.
45 minutes away to go to a decent school. I don't think that vouchers is the answer.
Well, it's going to be a big debate. I think that they're lucky to have you on their side. But if you ever want to come back and be on the show,
Thank you,
let us
Dana.
know.
I appreciate
Faiz,
that.
Appreciate you. Brett?
Yes.